The John Birch Society was founded on December 9, 1958. Organization of local chapters began early in 1959. As you have seen, beginning in the early 1960s, the Communists unleashed a series of vituperative attacks designed to destroy the John Birch Society. In spite of the viciousness, intensity, and duration of these smears and attacks, the Society has survived and continues to grow. Today, the John Birch Society projects a positive dream for a better world and stands as the greatest bulwark against the communist conspiracy. The John Birch Society is tens of thousands of individuals whose dedicated efforts are made effective by experienced leadership and the uniqueness of the organizational structure. The purpose of this segment of the film is to show you the size, reach, and scope of the John Birch Society today. The basic philosophic beliefs and principles of the Society will be discussed in the next segment of this film. This organizational chart will help you understand the structure of the John Birch Society and its affiliated operations. As mentioned in the previous segment, the Society is a monolithic body, headed by the founder, who is advised by the Council and the Executive Committee. The Society is an education action organization. The educational materials are prepared by the Home Office. Through the members and with the assistance of a national field staff, these educational materials are disseminated to the general public. The office operations include a research department, the American Opinion Speakers Bureau, ad hoc committees department, the publishing division, which includes the monthly magazine American Opinion, Western Islands Books, and the Review of the News, a weekly magazine. Other office operations include the actual business management, a wholesale book division, a shipping department, and a public relations department. The Members' Monthly Message Department serves as a unique communication link between the membership and the founder and the Home Office. All field activities are under the direction of a National Director of Field Activities, supplemented by a full-time staff in the field. As stated by the founder, education is our total strategy, and truth is our only weapon. Therefore, all operations and activities of the John Birch Society are governed by that strategy. To provide the dynamic personal leadership necessary for the quantitative, qualitative, and organic growth of the Society, Robert Welch is assisted by a personal staff, headed by his administrative assistants and his personal secretary. Additional leadership is provided by the National Council and an executive committee of that council. The basic function of the council is threefold. 1. To show the stature and standing of the leadership of the Society. 2. To give the founder the benefit of the council's advice and guidance, both in procedural or organizational matters, and in substantive matters of policy. And 3. To select with absolute and final authority a successor to the founder. The council meets quarterly, and the executive committee, 6 members of the council, meets each month, and among other responsibilities, they approve the monthly bulletin of the Society. The leadership brochure provides a biographical sketch of each member of the council. The council represents a cross-section of professions, occupations, and interests in life. Certainly those who lead an organization tell a great deal about it, and this brochure provides an insight into that distinguished body of men. The basic educational tool of the John Birch Society is its monthly bulletin. Written monthly by the founder, the bulletin is the Society's only official publication. It is sent to all members and also is available on a subscription basis. The bulletin is a review of the various action programs in which members are encouraged to participate, and an outline for organized and effective implementation of these programs. It is highly informative and motivating for all who share our beliefs, and to those who wish to learn more about the program, present activities, and long-range purposes of the John Birch Society. The major thrust of the educational effort of the John Birch Society is the publication of magazines, books, and pamphlets. This publishing arm is headlined by American Opinion magazine. American Opinion, which is available on a subscription basis, is the one outstanding monthly source for dependable, penetrating, in-depth information about the important aspects and activities of the struggle between communism and a humane civilization. The continuous stream of articles from this magazine will keep you well informed about what is happening in your world and who is causing it to happen. Skilled and experienced, the editorial staff regularly presents an array of articles which has justifiably earned an excellent reputation for the magazine, and General Curtis LeMay's comment, American Opinion is the world's leading anti-communist magazine. Many of its articles have been read in the Congressional Record by congressmen. American Opinion has subscribers throughout the United States and in 49 foreign countries, including many foreign government agencies. The award-winning The Review of the News is an authoritative, capsulated review of the week's most important news, plus weekly exclusive analyses and special reports from the scene by internationally respected conservative journalists. Many of these articles are concerned with the problems our nation faces today. The Review of the News, also available by subscription, is a valuable news weekly which should be in your home or office as a prime source of accurate information. The Review of the News editorial staff, constantly dealing with fast-breaking news stories and penetrating editorials, can take justifiable pride in the Merwin K. Hart Award, presented by the National Economic Council to the Review of the News for its unbiased and objective reporting, its honest and sincere analyses of the news, and its interesting and readable format. The rapidly growing number of subscribers to the Review of the News are located in all 50 states and 35 foreign countries, including many government agencies. Western Island strives to supply the Americanist forces with a continuing flow of educational works so as to better inform alarmed patriots and to help awaken the uninformed. Western Islands publishes hardbound, paperbound, and pocket-sized books, giving care that each work is a factual and physically attractive addition to the ever-growing library of Americanist books. The range of works includes those exposing the threat which faces our nation, as well as those showing the glory which was and yet can be America's. The Western Islands editor-in-chief is extremely well informed on the conspiracy, having traveled abroad on numerous occasions to study and observe the operations and effects of that conspiracy. Both American Opinion and the Review of the News receive revenue from a growing number of national advertisers. The Advertising and Promotion Department attracts new advertisers to both magazines and includes graphic arts personnel who supply ad layouts and promotional materials. Qualified office personnel efficiently handle the mountain of correspondence and myriad details concerned with the placing and scheduling of advertisements. The typesetting for all publications is produced on computerized electronic typesetting equipment. This highly sophisticated equipment, operated by a well-trained and efficient staff, has many economic and time-saving advantages. The heavy work schedule in the typesetting department is sufficient to require 2 shifts working almost around the clock. The Circulation Department mails the John Birch Society Bulletin, in addition to maintaining all subscription records for both American Opinion and the Review of the News. The flexibility and efficiency of this operation is enhanced by the utilization of key punch machines, electronic addressing equipment, capable of printing out tapes containing addresses at a rate of 18,000 per hour. For various mailings, the Circulation Department uses completely automated mail inserting machinery. In this machine, 6 different items may be inserted into an envelope. The envelope is then sealed, postage affixed, and the envelope stacked ready for transfer into mail sacks. The mail sacks are transferred directly to the airport by the Post Office Department. They are airlifted to the major cities where the Post Office Department has optical scanners that separate the mail by zip code for the fastest possible delivery. Another major educational tool is the American Opinion Speakers Bureau, which provides interesting and factual speakers who present a pro-Americanist, anti-communist perspective on current events. Speakers are available on a variety of topics. The Speakers Bureau, when measured by the number of engagements handled, and probably when measured by the total audience reached, is already the largest in the world. The dozens of articulate speakers on its roster are now filling several thousand engagements each year. Many of the engagements filled by the Speakers Bureau are sponsored by local chapters or ad hoc committees of the John Birch Society. Thus, there are literally tens of thousands of volunteer salesmen throughout the United States. Planning and coordination for these programs are handled through the Home Office in Belmont, Massachusetts, and the West Coast Office in San Marino, California. Through its members, the John Birch Society has formed a nationwide network of local committees working on specific issues. The average ad hoc committee is composed of a small percentage of members of the John Birch Society, and many non-members work with them, utilizing various avenues of communication and education to create understanding on the various issues. The programs and projects of these committees are given impetus and direction by a qualified staff at the Home Office and the West Coast Regional Office. Selective yet in-depth topical files on the insider-controlled communist conspiracy are maintained in the Research Department. There are a substantial number of government documents, including reports from the Senate Internal Security Subcommittee, House Committee on Un-American Activities, and House Internal Security Committee, in addition to a comprehensive library covering almost every phase of the conspiracy. All of this activity naturally requires sound business management, which is administered by experienced personnel to assure the efficiency of the business operation related to the society. A rather vast interlocking corporate structure binds together all divisions, which provides the greatest possible effectiveness. A printing department is maintained to supply business forms, letterheads, promotional flyers, and other specialized items. An increasing interest in Americanist literature demands a continuing expansion of the shipping facilities. The enlarged shipping department in Belmont handles the mailing of all materials to the 37 eastern states. The West Coast Shipping Department is responsible for supplying the western states. The expanding number of American Opinion bookstores are supplied through the Wholesale Book Division, which is responsible for maintaining an inventory of Western Islands books, magazines, pamphlets, audiovisual materials, and titles from 100 other publishers. Sales representatives travel throughout the country as consultants to American Opinion bookstore managers and calling on commercial bookstores. The Members' Monthly Message is a truly unique form of two-way communication. Along with the monthly bulletin, each member receives a Members' Monthly Message, MMM form. The members are encouraged to use this form for ideas, suggestions, criticisms, and inquiries, and all of these receive individualized answers. The MMM staffs meet regularly with Mr. Welch in order to bring these important messages to his attention. Every member who returns his MMM is sent a bonus in the form of timely pamphlets or books. What began as an incentive to use the MMM form has developed into a valuable means of getting important educational tools into the field and into immediate use. The Society maintains a public relations department, which is responsible for answering inquiries from the press and news media and issuing press releases and official statements. In addition, frequent appearances on radio and television are made to project the beliefs and principles of the Society. This department also supervises the production of film strips, films, brochures, and other educational tools. Development, promotion, and educational work is performed by members of the staff traveling throughout the nation. Personal contact is made with business, industrial, and professional leaders, many of whom are supporting and lending their influence to the Society. Thus far, you have seen the various departments and divisions which fall under the heading of office operations. Now you will see the office and warehouse facilities, which are utilized to house the home office and regional office operations. 395 Concord Avenue, Belmont, Massachusetts, contains the executive offices of Mr. Welch and his staff. The Membership Department, Public Relations Department, Business Management, and Accounting Department, the Members' Monthly Message Department, Circulation Department, and American Opinion Bookstore. This building, located at 4 Hill Road in Belmont, Massachusetts, houses the Advertising and Promotion Department, Typesetting Department, Research Department, Ad Hoc Committees Department, Speakers Bureau, and Editorial Offices for Western Islands, American Opinion, and the Review of the News. The largest building in the entire Belmont complex contains the Wholesale Book Division, print shop, mail room, warehouse, and shipping facilities. This building in South Pasadena, California, is the warehouse and shipping facility which serves the 13 western states. The John Birch Society's West Coast Regional Office is located in San Marino, California. This building houses the District Governor's Office, the Membership Department, Members' Monthly Message Department, Speakers Bureau, Ad Hoc Committees Department, Accounting Department, and an American Opinion bookstore. The Southwest Regional Office is located in Dallas, Texas. Future development of this office will include the addition of all departments appropriate to a regional office. An office is maintained in Washington, D.C. for the Washington representative and his staff. This office serves as a listening post in the nation's capital, as well as having educational material available. At the founding meeting of the Society, Robert Welch said, The net result of these reflections is that we are not a copy of any movement of the past. We are unique. We are ourselves. We are something new as befits a moving force for a new age. We believe in profiting by all human experience, but we shall make our own amalgam of the organizational metals forged by that experience with the mercury of our own purpose. The major distinguishing factor between the John Birch Society and other organizations is that it has a national membership, organized into local chapters, and the activities of those chapters are coordinated and supervised by a national field staff. Actually, the John Birch Society is the only Americanist anti-communist organization which maintains a full-time paid field staff in all 50 states. The national field staff is composed of highly informed, dedicated men of proven leadership ability. An understanding of the organizational structure and the responsibilities of the field staff give an appreciation of their effectiveness. This national field staff is supervised by the Director of Field Activities, whose responsibilities include overall supervision and direction of these men and implementation of policies, programs, and procedures as set forth by the founder and council. The Director of Field Activities is assisted by a staff of Home Office and Regional Office coordinators who work directly with chapter leaders, members, and staff in the field. Next, the District Governor is directly responsible to the Director of Field Activities. Occupying a field position, the District Governor is responsible for overseeing and guiding every facet of the Society's undertaking in the area assigned to him. The responsibilities of the Major Coordinator include the hiring, training, and supervision of coordinators and assisting both coordinator and volunteer leadership in carrying out the programs and policies of the Society. Each major coordinator supervises 5 to 10 coordinators whose duties include recruiting new members and forming chapters, supervising organizationally, and helping members to implement agenda projects and activities as outlined in the monthly bulletin. Each coordinator's territory is divided into sections. Each section has a section leader who serves voluntarily and is responsible for increasing and maintaining a high degree of personal contact with the chapter leaders and supervision of the chapters within his section. Each section consists of from 5 to 10 chapters. Each chapter is supervised by a chapter leader who carries the ultimate responsibility for the effectiveness of his chapter. From conducting chapter meetings to working closely with every member, the chapter leader, by his continuing efforts, is at the core of the Society's organizational strength. The several thousand local chapters of the John Birch Society form a nationwide network. Local chapters of the Society participating in the activities and programs of the Society are located in every state from Honolulu, Hawaii to Portland, Maine, and from Key West, Florida to Fairbanks, Alaska, and in Canada. Much of the success of the Society is attributable to the fact that these local chapters are effectively implementing the national programs of the Society. This is truly an educational army, and no other pro-American anti-communist force is comparable to it. The nucleus of all Society activities is the local chapter itself. Each chapter, actively recruiting and educating, is a tremendous force for good in its own area. The chapter offers the membership a workable organizational unit at the local level, which adds cohesiveness to their efforts and greatly increases their effectiveness. Spinning off from the chapter are various educational activities, each designed to expose the communist conspiracy and to preserve the Americanist system. To gain a more complete insight into the reason for the effectiveness of the John Birch Society, it is important to understand the various activities of chapter members throughout the country. In the monthly bulletin of the Society, the first item on the agenda is recruiting. There is a very important reason why recruiting is listed first, and such great emphasis is placed on it. Growth being essential for success, recruiting is a continuous activity of the members. Through educational efforts, they encourage their friends to join the John Birch Society as a means of combating the oppression intended by the communist conspiracy. In this process of recruiting, a prospective member automatically gains a better understanding of the conspiracy, and by joining the John Birch Society, adds his efforts to those of tens of thousands of other dedicated people. This satisfies the requirement for quantitative growth, but what of the need for qualitative growth? To answer that question, Mr. Welch has said, We want only responsible men and women of religious ideals, good character, patriotic purpose, and humane conscience, who are respected by their friends and neighbors. They can be of any race, color, or creed. The membership of the John Birch Society is, and we want it to remain, a wonderful cross-section of America. And what we want most is that every prospect, and hence every new member, be properly qualified to belong to the finest body of men and women in the world. Each chapter is in actuality an education unit which radiates its information to those within its sphere of influence. Film series programs, which are continuously conducted by each chapter, are the primary vehicles of that educational effort. American opinion bookstores have become the physical symbol of a resurgent American spirit. The individual unit is a tremendous morale factor and an appreciable new force on the American scene. Hundreds of American opinion bookstores comprise the largest distributive network of Americanist publications in the world. These bookstores are established and operated by volunteers who are local members of the John Birch Society. The purpose of these bookstores is to make Americanist literature available for the general public and to be a center for Americanist activities. Local chapter members of the Society are involved in many educational activities. These activities are designed to create understanding of the conspiracy. Exposure will cause any conspiracy to crumble, and the education action programs of the Society are designed to expose the strategy and tactics of the conspiracy. Petition campaigns are certainly an excellent example of the principles of education and action molded together. To illustrate, members of the John Birch Society were responsible for obtaining nearly 2 million signatures petitioning Congress to stop all foreign aid to and trade with communist nations. This was by far the largest petition campaign to Congress in American history. Its effectiveness was enhanced by tens of thousands of members of the Society working together in concert. Another activity is letter writing. Letters to congressmen and other government officials, along with letters to the editors and various newspapers, has proved to be a valuable education effort. Massive distribution of literature is an effective way to create understanding on any given issue. Many members of the Society, as chapter projects, personally distribute the material or buy well-organized monthly mail-out programs. Regardless of the method used, members of the Society are now distributing approximately 1 million pamphlets and magazine reprints each month. The use of billboards is an excellent way to focus public attention on various issues. Members of the Society have been responsible for thousands of billboards presenting the Americanist view on many issues. Members of the Society have very effectively enlisted the support and help of their friends and associates through the formation of ad hoc committees. These committees have substantially increased the influence and reach of the Society. Ad hoc committees utilize all methods, techniques, and tools of education to influence their communities. Sponsoring speakers is another excellent way to inform our fellow citizens. Both ad hoc committees and chapters of the Society frequently sponsor speakers from the American Opinion Speakers Bureau, resulting in several thousand speaking engagements each year. Another excellent way to bring the John Birch Society, its beliefs and principles to the attention of the American people, is by entering local parades. Thousands of floats and other entries have been entered by chapters, many of them winning awards and first-place prizes. Hundreds of Society chapters have exhibits in their respective state and county fairs. Millions of Americans attending these fairs have come in contact with members of the Society, resulting in a far better understanding of the Society, its objectives and goals. Fair exhibits have also proved to be an excellent vehicle for the sale and the distribution of Americanist literature. Obviously, the total effect and impact of the John Birch Society has been tremendous, so much so that as early as 1967, the Communist Party in its March 18th issue of their official West Coast newspaper, People's World, said, "The John Birch Society is the largest and most sophisticated anti-communist organization in the United States. The right is a seething mass of over 4,000 organizations, bewildering in their titles, aims, and diversity. Of all these groups, only some 30 distinct organizations appear to be of national importance, and the prime one is the John Birch Society." Certainly, since 1967, the John Birch Society has expanded its influence in many ways. Without question today, the John Birch Society is the most formidable opposition the communist conspiracy has ever faced in its history. At the same time, the John Birch Society presents a positive program to renew with brighter luster the morals, manners, customs, traditions, and values that have preserved and will improve our civilization. Now that you have seen the organizational structure, the size and the scope of the society, you are in a position to better appreciate the philosophic base on which the John Birch Society stands.